Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday, April 24th, the Raynham Board of Selectmen's meeting. The minutes, Mr.
Motion to accept as printed.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Let's see, we have Department Head Jim Donovan is, he is in the back. Chief Donovan, your report, please.
Between March 27th and April 2nd, April 24th, the police department logged 1,212 incidents and booked 48. There were 2 overdoses, both non-fatal. On the 8th, there was the accident at the flea market where a pedestrian was struck and seriously injured. On the 12th, our colleague was murdered in the town of Yarmouth. On the 12th, we also had a threat to blow up a medical facility on Route 44. Quickly investigated that, narrowed it down, and the person has been charged with that. On the 18th, we also had a threat to shoot up an auto dealership on Route 44. Same thing, we were able to quickly get some information and locate that person and arrest them. So that's all I have this month.
Thank you, sir. Kyla Brito, our Veteran Service Officer.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to say thank you and express my gratitude to the Board of Selectmen, the town administration, and the veterans community, because 1 year ago you guys selected me to be your first full-time Veteran Service Officer. I just wanted to say that on a monthly basis I hold office hours at both the Counseling on Aging and at the Pine Hill Estates. For Pine Hill Estates, it's the second Tuesday of the month, and at the Counseling on Aging, it's the third Wednesday of the month. And I'm normally there from 10 until noon. If it needs to take a little bit longer, then I take longer there, and then, or I have them come schedule an appointment and come back here to the office. Each Tuesday at noon, I am a host of Ask Your Veterans Agent radio show on AM 1530. I co-host it with 2 other veteran service officers from the town of Middleborough and the one from Halifax and Lakeville. I've attended several conferences for the Massachusetts Veteran Service Officers Association. I've been helping Mr. Monty with the Jared Monty Foundation as part of their advisory board. And just recently I completed CERT training, so I am now part of the Sachem Rock regional planning team with both Whitman Hanson and the town of Raynham. Since I live in Hanson, I'm on theirs by default, and then I'm going to be helping Kevin Marrera here in Raynham if needed. On February 24th, I co-hosted a Women Veterans Coffee Hour with 3 other veteran service officers from Norton, Braintree, and Franklin in conjunction with Congressman Kennedy's office, and that was held in Franklin at a veteran-owned community coffee house. And we had 12 female veterans who came in and voiced their concerns, and in the upcoming months we'll be having a follow-up meeting with Congressman Kennedy's office to have ongoing dialogue with what they can do to better service female veterans. I've been working with the Shane Gives Thanks Food Pantry out of Carver, Massachusetts, and they are hosting a monthly veterans-only food pantry that's held the last Sunday of the month at the Middleborough VFW. It's open to any veteran in southeastern Massachusetts from 10 until noon. All you have to do is show proof that you're a veteran and you can come through. It doesn't matter what your financial needs are. If sometimes you come into a little bit of a bind, and they're there to help you. I've attended several outreach events at Chapter 57 Greater Taunton area for their post-meeting on March the 20th, and then I also participated in the Greater Area Taunton Business Mixer, where I was able to do outreach on what a veteran service officer does. And then the following day, there was an event at the VFW in Taunton, which was hosted by the VA Boston Healthcare on opiate and substance abuse and the concerns that we have with our veteran community. And I participated with Johnson & Johnson's on a team building exercise, and they actually built 8 wheelchairs, and the town of Raynham veteran service officer was actually the recipient of those 8 wheelchairs once we were completed. We have 2 of them here in Town Hall, one upstairs and one downstairs, one at the Counseling on Aging, one at the Lions Club, the American Legion, and then I've also given one to each of the schools so that they all have brand-new wheelchairs for their facilities. We have a couple upcoming events that I'm working on. I'll be attending the Elizabeth Dole Foundation event at VA Boston Healthcare to help celebrate the military family and the VA veterans caregiver, and that'll be on May the 1st. I'll be attending the Bristol Community College's Joseph A. Marshall Veterans Center. It's being dedicated at their Fall River campus, and that event will take place at noon on Friday, May the 12th. And then the next day, on Saturday, May the 12th, we'll be hosting the Southeastern Massachusetts Veterans Expo from 10 till 2. It's hosted by the town and then in conjunction with VA Boston and VA Providence. And they'll be coming in with state, federal, and local benefits and nonprofit organizations. Plus, we'll also be teaming with the Career Center in Taunton, and they'll have several different veteran-friendly businesses that are going to be hiring. And I'll also have the Raynham Channel there doing some videotaping it and doing some interviews of some of our veterans. On May the 15th, I'll be co-hosting with Senator Mark Pacheco a town hall forum that he'll be hosting at the American Legion Post right here in Raynham. And he'll have Senator Mike Rush here, and they'll be discussing some of the changes and challenges of upcoming legislation for veterans and our communities. And then on Thursday, May the 17th, I'll be attending a Veterans Outreach Research Day at VA Providence. And then the Massachusetts Women Veterans Network Committee is having their 10th annual conference on May the 10th. And for everybody else, the Rave Parade is on Saturday, May 26th, starting at 10 a.m. at the elementary schools and ending at Borden Colony, and with a ceremony to follow. And that's all I have today. Do you have
That's
any
all?
questions for me? Well, I tried to cram as much as I could.
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate all that work that you're doing for the veterans.
Thank you.
We now have a continuation of a public hearing that was tabled last week, and it's for an all-alcohol license transfers from Smitty's Filling Station, Kimberly Bracken. It's a transfer from Christopher's Seafood and Steakhouse on 1285 Broadway. Will the applicants please make their statements?
Hi, good evening. I'm Kimberly Bracken. How are you? I'm here to request the liquor license transfer from Christopher's to the filling station. As you may have noticed, there's a lot of changes going on. Richie and I decided to work out a deal and open a family-style restaurant where Christopher's used to be located, with seafood, fish, pasta, burgers, family environment, full restaurant, and we're requesting that we get the opportunity to transfer the liquor license.
I know one of the issues last weekend was that you had all the green cards have been returned, and it's my understanding that they have been now.
Yes, I just
Okay.
dropped the rest.
Dave, can you confirm?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak for the applicants? Would anyone like to speak against? Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chief Donovan from the Police Department. At the request of the licensing authority, the Police Department has conducted a background investigation on the applicants, and Detective Berry has conducted that investigation.
Good evening. I'm Detective Barry with Raynham Police. During my investigation, I have all the documentation here, and is also provided to the members of the board. During my investigation, we have dealt, Mr. Furr is known to our department, and this officer in particularly. We have dealt with Mr. Furr approximately 58 different incidents. We've had to respond to his residence or just dealings with him. The cases range from anywhere threats to commit a crime, violation of restraining orders, and larcenies. He's also been known to hang around and have people hang around with known criminal backgrounds, ranging from drug abuse to larcenies and other crimes. He has not only had incidents with our department, but he has had incidents with other departments. one in which where he was involved with a attack with a metal pipe on an individual. In February 2015, I, and along with other members of our department, had to respond up to his place of business, Smitty's Garage, at 753 Broadway. And during that incident, we were there to serve the Bristol County Sheriff's Department to serve a civil court order, execution of seizing property, 2 dump trucks at that address. And during that incident, Mr. Ferrer became very upset with all officers present and said he was going to battle with us, and made threats to injure all officers at that time. He was subsequently charged with disorderly and threats to commit a crime. Ms. Bracken has also had incidents with our department. One incident actually took place at Christopher's Restaurant. Also in my report, I noted that we've had many dealings up at Christopher's. We've responded up to that business approximately 346 times since 2006, and those calls vary from traffic accidents, domestic violence-related issues, larcenies, protective custodies, dispersed gatherings, officers needed, and various other calls of service up to that business. So that's what I found. Its affiliation, Outlaws Motorcycle Gang, has hung out up there previous. It's not only known to our department, but other surrounding departments, and also their club affiliates. In November 2016, there was a incident up there where another male party was attacked by a pipe, struck in the head. So we've responded up there quite frequently up to that the business, and we've dealt with Mr. Ferrer quite frequently over the past couple of years.
If we might, Madam Chair, perhaps we can go to the applicants. It seems like they might want to add some commentary to it before we have
Okay.
questions.
Certainly. Go ahead.
I'm Kimberly Bracken. I'm the only applicant for the liquor license. I don't know what, I'm sorry, your name, officer?
Detective Barry.
Detective Barry, incident that he had for Christopher's, but the only time I've ever been in an incident, and he could probably attest to my clean record. I'm a hard-working person. I've never been in any trouble. The only incident I ever had, I think, was probably a few weeks ago. We were watching over the place that someone hit another person's car. I witnessed it, followed them, called the Raynham Police Department, and they told me to, stay away, and I was trying to give them the license plate. But that's the only incident I've ever had at Christopher's, and clearly not related to me. I've never had any trouble, never an issue. I own my own home. I have a son that's in college. I'm a hard-working citizen. I've never been in any trouble. As far as Mr. Ferrara goes, I'm the sole applicant on the liquor license. We do have a business arrangement together, a personal arrangement. I've never been affiliated with any club except for the Bridgewater Little League, which I was on the board of, and people in this room can attest to that. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Mr. Ferrer, would you like to say anything?
I don't know. I'm sorry. My name's Richard Ferreira. I've been in business here in the town of Raynham for quite some time, never had any problems. Had a trucking company here. The things that they're talking about, I've had calls there for different people, trying to take vehicles without paying for them, things like that. I've never had any pipe problems. All right, there was years and years ago, they had a guy come to my house. I had just gotten out of the hospital from a heart attack, and I had an employee came, and there was a threat. Officer Pohl came at the time. These guys are not telling you the truth. They're not filling you in on all of it. That's not true. I've been a respected person. I work hard. I've never asked anybody for anything, and they can attest to that. The only problems that they've had is legitimate things that come to my place of business. All right, and then I went through a divorce, and it was hard. I'm not going to deny that. I had problems with my daughters and family over it. It is what it is. Those are things that happen. You can't change that. And the one incident that he's talking about, I had a problem, and through my divorce, I was having money issues, and I was giving up a couple of the trucks. When they came to take those trucks, all right, it was for an account that I had that I needed to pay on, And I was a gentleman, and I went to that man's office, and I gave him titles to 2 trucks. I had no idea when they came that day what that was all about, and I never threatened anybody. I just asked them if they had paperwork so that I knew where the trucks were going and what was going on. All right, and I don't remember him being there, but my statement to them was, I said, if you don't have paperwork, we have a problem. I never raised my voice. I never did anything like that, okay? And then he put, the sheriff's department put his hand on his gun. And I said, because I'm asking for paperwork, you're gonna put your hand on your gun? Because I'm a big guy, I'm intimidating, I guess, but I've never done anything, I've never hurt anybody, anything like that, all right? I stand up for myself because I stand up for what I believe, sometimes right or wrong. We all do the same thing. All right, but I've never had problems. Now, 58 problems. I've never had 58 problems. I don't know where that comes from. I've never been after anybody with a pipe. And they talk about the clubs going in and out of the. You can't stop any of these people from coming and going. I'm trying to change and improve that corner in Raynham and have a decent family restaurant that I can bring the neighborhoods back together. And I just want an automotive theme to it. That's it. You know, no club members. I'm not a club member. I ride my my Harley Davidson like a lot of these guys in the room might have Harleys. That doesn't make me a bad person. You know, I don't get what that comes from. You know, you can have clubs that are great clubs. I like to ride sometimes. We go with the club there that, what do they call it? The Bikers Against, what is it? Yeah, the child's abuse. We ride with them last year. That doesn't make me a bad person, but then no one's telling you that I ride with good clubs like that. You know, we're independent people. We go out on motorcycles, we do runs for veterans, we do runs for different types of things. I would like to have a motorcycle run, even out of the restaurant, to raise money for people in town, or to raise. I want that. I want the towns to come back and have a decent place to eat, and that they can sit around and talk like everybody used to. They don't do that anymore. They don't have a good place to go around here, and I'm trying to bring that back. That the neighborhoods, the people here, they can come back, sit down, have a beer, and talk. Have a nice place to gather. I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't. So I don't know where a lot of that comes from. They'd have to show it, and I'd like to see it, but I've never been after anybody. I've never threatened anybody. I've had restraining orders on me and my daughters, me and my ex-wife. Yes, that took place during my divorce. I never touched anybody. I never hit anybody. I've never been in trouble like that, so I don't know where all that comes from. You know, okay? Okay, thank you.
Chief?
We submitted documentation of all those incidents to this licensing authority. So they have those reports in hand. Those are public records. You were involved in all of them, so you can get the records yourselves. You were involved you were accused of assault to the Bridgewater Police Department, and you came to the Raynham Police Department and accused someone else of assault at this restaurant. Yes. We have the documentation.
Discussion?
I'm still digesting all of it, I'll be honest with you. I have a couple perspectives on it. I think in a general sense, it's great to see improvement at that corner, and to your credit, you guys have made what looks to be a sizable and significant investment in it, and I think we should be grateful and appreciative for that. But I think what was presented to me by the police department, which I had an opportunity to read some of tonight, and the comments by the police department are somewhat concerning. And I'm not usually at a loss. I know, but I'm kind of at a loss right now. I think this board has had significant concerns about Christopher's over the years because of the behavior and, in my opinion, the poor operations there. I'll never forget it. I was probably on this board for 2 months, and we had just got tasers, and that was the place of the first taser being deployed in Massachusetts. And I've never shook that feeling. And so there's this concern.
Do you have a suggestion?
I don't know if the detective was looking to add anything else, because I saw him looking.
I do have copies of the reports.
All right, you can give them to the board.
Yeah.
This hearing is with the board.
Regarding February 2015, myself and all the Bristol County Sheriffs had to go.
Kim, Ms. Brackett, I think what we can do too is, if you'd like, as long as the chief doesn't object, we can make some copies for you and you can take some time to review the stuff. Because I think the packet that I saw was pretty sizable. It was probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches thick. No, both you and Mr. Ferreira. I apologize. I should have been more clear on that.
May I just respectfully ask the board a question?
Yeah, please. Can you just, if you could just, thank you.
Mr. Ferrera is my business partner, but I'm solely the one that's applying for the liquor license. I'm not sure if that matters or anything, or how that weighs in with Mr. Ferrera. He could have been a silent partner. I chose not to have it that way. So I'm not sure how that weighs out in the board. I can personally tell you, if I was accused of any kind of assault, this is the first I'm hearing of it. Accused, I've never been brought to my attention. I'm pretty shocked if anybody in here knows me or knows me around town. And I know from experience that, like you've seen me, I've been involved in Little League. I've done nothing but good for my town in Bridgewater. I've sat on boards in the town of Bridgewater. I'm a very respected citizen, and I'm really pretty disappointed at what I'm hearing about myself today, which is, I feel, unfair and untrue. So, thank you.
Madam Chair, would it be appropriate if we continue this hearing and provide some time for them to review these, and perhaps they can shed some additional light on the documents that we were provided?
Well, seeing as we do not have a full board here this evening, I don't think that's an unreasonable request. Other than that, my inclination would be not to approve the license. So therefore, if they're willing, or they don't have to be willing, if that's what the request is, to postpone this for another week until we have a full board here. And I'm sure this is all public record, Chief? Are these all public documents?
Yeah, public records, except for domestic violence. Those are very limited, but obviously the people that are.
Well,
accused of those
anything that
are
is a public record, would you be willing to allow them to read it?
Yes.
And have any problems with it, that they could either contact, what?
I would have them contact the town administrator, but also I would suggest that between when we're able to provide the documents, and then if you're able to give some consideration to expanding upon any of the areas to provide us further clarification. I know, Mr. Ferreira, you took some time to explain some of the incidents.
Exactly, I've never really had any problems.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, people accuse you all the time, but.
May I request to maybe postpone it for 2 weeks in order for me to get it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm amenable to that. Again, I think we want to go through the process and give you a fair opportunity to be heard and apply for it. But I think, to the chairman's point, when our police department are presenting these sizable types of concerns, I hope you can appreciate the fact that we have to take that very seriously, because we're not only balancing business interests, but we're balancing the safety of the neighborhoods and the safety of the employees that work for us, the police officers and our firefighters. And so, it's a challenging situation we have here.
That's why I'm just a little taken back, because Mr. Burr is not applying for a liquor license. I am. totally. So I feel like it's being a little biased because who my business partner is, and that's a financial issue. That's not, quite personally, I don't think that has anything to do with the town and who might choose to get funding from or not get funding from. So I would like to continue it 2 weeks and get an attorney because my record is outstanding to say the least.
Sure.
I'm pretty offended, a little disappointed, I have to say. So I would like to maybe continue it for 2 weeks to get an attorney.
I'd make a motion to continue for 2 weeks.
Okay. Second that motion, and anything that is of public record that can be, would you take?
Essentially, anything other than DV is what the chief said.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
And if someone's involved in domestic violence incident, then they can get the record of it.
Right, right.
okay. So we'll, perhaps, Dave, you can coordinate with the chief to just ensure that whatever we're getting out is not breaking any privacy laws, and get the packet immediately to the applicants so they have an opportunity to review.
And we'll come back, and we'll come back in 2 weeks. We will then have a full board, because like I say, at this point in time, reviewing this, I would be saying no.
Time's going on.
Sure.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So we continue the hearing.
Yeah, well, so if you want to touch base with Dave tomorrow in our office,
Okay.
and we'll coordinate it, and we can set up a time. It might be easier for you to pick it up, because again, it was pretty thick.
What time is your office closed?
8:30 to 4:30.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
all right, thank you.
This hearing is closed at 7:30. I lost my agenda. Any new business?
None, Madam Chair.
Any old business?
None, Madam Chair.
Adam, Town Administrator's report?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ongoing projects, the North School, we're just waiting for more information for the window replacement and camera monitoring system installations. Just a reminder, the annual town meeting is in place, and the annual and the special town meeting is set for May 21st, and the pre-town meeting will be here at Town Hall May 15th, the Tuesday prior. Excuse me. As acting health agent, I followed up on 3 Chapter 2 housing complaints. I approved 1 septic system design and received 3 Title V inspection reports and reviewed 1 communicable disease from DPH. The next Selectmen's meeting will be a week from today, May 1st. The next department head meeting will be May 17th. Pre-town meeting, again, is May 15th, and the town meetings will be May 21st, starting at 6:45 at the middle school. And I have procurement officer training tomorrow, so.
Any questions for David? Thank you, David. Okay, Selectmen's report?
I don't believe I have anything tonight, Madam Chair.
Okay. I'd just like everyone to know that, as the sign probably says, Smith's, Mrs. Donahue is not here this evening as she is ill. She called in sick tonight, so, I had to take over. And also, too, that I'd like to express our condolences to the Santos family on the passing of a very good friend, Gil Santos. He will be missed by everyone, I'm sure. Correspondence.
Tag day.
1 tag day? I don't know what happens to all the mail. We used to get a lot of mail. Nobody likes us anymore, I guess, huh? And who is this from? The Disabled American Veterans, Chapter 57. And the date's September 14th and the 28th. Is this in agreement with the calendar?
Motion to approve.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Chick Rose.
Oh, I don't know if people are aware of that. The Chick Rose also passed away. And, you know, Chick Rose was a very funny guy. He was a constable for many years for the town of Raynham, but also he was a great man with kids. He taught them how to box, and he had his own little gym, and he is going to be missed by an awful lot, so our condolences to his entire family. We have no press. Any emergency business? I can't.
Were we supposed to speak tonight at Screw Room?
No, you were approved, we just signed
You were
it.
approved. We're just going to sign
We had your
it.
hearing,
Oh,
yeah, no.
Oh, we just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
You want to ask?
Sure.
Please.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right. We were, I think the chairman was getting to citizen input, so.
Okay, so thank you very much for approving our license, so we're very appreciative of that. We just wanted to go over our hours, oh, sorry, Kevin Merritt.
I'm Tammy Merritt.
And I'm Vincent Merritt.
Okay. So we just wanted to go over our hours. We wanted to lock those down because I remember before we didn't want to be changing things. And so we wanted to go Thursday, 5 to 9. And then Friday, 5 to 9. And Saturday, 8 to 10.
No.
Sorry. 12 to 8. Sorry. 12 to 8. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry. 12 to 8. And I also wanted to ask the board, how do we do functions? For instance, if we had Raynham Youth Soccer come in on Tuesday and do their meeting, how would we do that? Would we need special board approval for that, or I didn't know how?
What do you mean? To use the facility as a
Yeah, we
meeting
have a
place
conference
for?
room. We have a conference room, so we were just going to donate that and let.
Would you be serving?
We would be serving to those guys. Would we?
You're
would be
talking
a-
about adults or children?
Oh no, adults. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And
Almost got ya.
My-
Almost got ya.
yeah. And so,
My inclination would be, when you submit your formal hours, I would stipulate that you're gonna have other days as needed for private events, similar to what we've done with our private function halls, because they don't come to us every time they're looking to open on a, exactly. So I would be comfortable with that stipulation if the chairman's amenable to that as well.
Yes, that'll be fine.
okay.
Yeah.
So we'll stipulate that in our license. Thank you very much for the suggestion.
Yeah.
We did get our tips training, so we all got our tips training.
Oh, good.
And what we're also going to do is have all of our servers get tip trained. So
Yes.
it won't just be us, it'll be everyone
Good.
that's going to be serving in our business.
Right.
By doing that.
And when do you anticipate opening?
We anticipate opening, May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd, but we're not sure. It may be a week later. To start our boiler, they said the manufacturer, we have to fly the manufacturer in and have them start the boiler. So we have to get that approval. So that was something the plumbing inspector wanted, so we complied with that.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm
Uh-oh,
sorry.
Another thing, yep.
and we said we were going to have food trucks because
Yes.
food was a concern.
Yeah.
You know, that is a concern of mine.
Yeah, so we're gonna have food trucks there for people, and we're also gonna, allow them to bring in pizza or serve pizza. Pizza they can bring in. But the food trucks, as long as they're licensed through Massachusetts, they're okay. Or is there a special Raynham thing that they have?
No, you know what concerns me more than anything? I'm sorry, did I jump on you? What concerns me more than ever is you're going to have food trucks outside, right? Now,
Yes.
you're a brewery.
Yes.
I'm going to talk out of school, Joe, so don't listen. I've been to a lot of breweries.
Right.
Because I think it's fascinating how they can brew different types of beers and the different tastes that each one has. So I have frequented different ones. And any that I have ever been to, and I'm not talking about in more or less Massachusetts, but I know Texas, they've got several in a whole long strip, and I went to every one of them. They never had any kind of food. It was a tasting. You had a taste of X amount of beer.
Yeah.
If you preferred Y to Z, you could purchase it. But that was it. That was what a whole brewery was all about. It wasn't about having food in there. For example, I'm going to come to your brewery, I'm going to go outside, get 2 or 3 hot dogs and whatever, come
We'll go outside and
inside,
get the hot dogs
sit
for
down and have 5 or 6 beers. That's a bar.
It is, but we don't expect people to have 5 or 6 beers at our place.
Yeah,
I mean,
we would try.
craft beers are gonna be $5 to $6 a piece. So most people wouldn't come and drink
They
that many
wouldn't? At
beers.
$5 and $6, they wouldn't.
Not most. Oh, yeah, well, so yes.
I don't know what they drink, but let me tell you, I know that man down there says $5. Hey, I'm there.
Yeah, we'll go 6 and higher for ours. But yeah, like I said, tips training, so you're gonna be shut off probably before
I
that.
don't want you to get into a position where you now have a bar.
Right.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, and so that's what we've done. So that's why when I first came to the board, I said we would try to be open till 11, going the longer route. But we talked to other brewery owners, and when you're open that late, it's not really that great after that time, So the later it goes, it's just people are drinking more and more. We want them to get like my brother said, we want them to get a taste, have a few beers, and then we're going to have beer to go. So take some beer to go with you. And that's kind of the model that we've set up, kind of like a Bog Iron or like Black Hat and Bridgewater. We're going to kind of base it on what those guys have done and been successful with.
As long as you know where I'm coming from.
Oh, yeah, I do. I do. That's why we set the 9 o'clock. That's why we knocked that down from 11 to 9.
Okay.
So that's kind of, so you don't get that bar feeling, you're not there all night long.
Okay, I have no problems. You got it?
No, I'm excited.
I got it right here to sign, no problem.
Well, I was just curious, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Are you gonna have a taco truck?
If they have a taco truck, yeah.
I think that would be great. I'll tell you.
Taco Tuesdays.
No, I know. I never ate, I'll just tell you one funny story. I never ate fish tacos, and last year I went to visit my cousin Mike Tokaz, and he brought me to this place down in Florida, right in the Gulf of Mexico, and he's like, Joe, you got to get the fish tacos. They're amazing, and I'm hooked ever since. And I know there's a few taco food trucks in Boston, so you should look into that. Yeah.
Some people drive down, they say their trucks are old and stuff.
Yeah.
We're Lawrence down. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Best
Thank
of
you.
luck to you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, nothing else?
No-
No emergency business?
Motion to adjourn, sign the bills, no business thereafter.
Second, all in favor, aye.